Assassin's Creed has been trying to find itself for years. The bigger worlds, the crazy content, the RPG mechanics, but somewhere along the way, I think the series forgot what it made it special. And then I played Black Flag Resynced. So is this just a remake of one of Assassin's Creed's best games? Or could this actually show us how the franchise comes back? Look, I've probably played every single Assassin's Creed game, but let's be honest, the franchise has felt very different over the years. Black Flag has always been one of those games that gets praised a lot, and Resynced gave me the perfect excuse to finally experience it properly, since the last time I played it was way long ago when it came out and I was young, so it doesn't really count. I want to tell you something about this remake. This is for sure a special remake. This is one of its kind in terms of Ubisoft, their first ever actual remake, in my opinion. I think it is, at least. And not just that, they really understood what to do here, at least on the surface or the base concept. They respected the material by basically saying, you know what, this is a pirate game through and through, we gotta respect this game, and this is what they delivered, man. The Caribbean setting here just stands out. It is one of the best pirate game out there. It's only, in my opinion, it's the only actual good pirate game that we have. Well, Skull and Bones doesn't count, we all know that. And the Caribbean, literally the setting here, the pirate life is just all in there. From the atmosphere to the music. I mean, guys, the music is a huge part of the experience, trust me. Like, look at the theme song, it's just incredible. The main character, Edward, man, Edward Kenway, is such an interesting character. I never expected how, at least I never thought he would be this interesting. The game has a very strong identity, that's for sure. Ubisoft understood before that their games are all about adventures, not just a giant open world game that you just do tasks and complete checklists. This is an adventure. And when you play this remake, you realize how the old good actual Ubisoft games used to be, man. One thing for sure, the graphics, look, they absolutely cook with this, with their, I think it's called Anvil Engine, I think. It's just incredible. Look at the water, look at the tree, look at what is it? The weather system. It just looks way better than the original. I'm sorry, everyone says that the original is better. Maybe because like the artistic design maybe feels better, but it's not, objectively, it's just not better. The remake here just clears it by a mile, and it's sight to behold. You have to play this game to see it with your own eyes for sure. One thing for sure is that Black Flag knows exactly what kind of game it is, and what it wants to be. And the fact that you respected that in the remake that's why it's basically one of the best remakes out there and one of the best games of the year. I truly believe that. I want to say something about the combat in the gameplay itself, is that they took some elements from the RPG, but it is not in your face. It's not an RPG really at all. You won't even feel it. Yes, you'll find different swords with different perks and with different hit damage, but it's not a big deal. Trust me on this one, it really is not a big deal. The core combat itself is absolutely satisfying, just like the original. The switching between the gun and the sword, really fun. With the finishers, feels great. Although the finishers it gets repetitive the more you play. There's just not many animations in there. It basically heavily relies on the counter system, which, well, I mean, that is up to you how you feel about that, but I don't have any problem with that. It just feels, for me, it feels incredible. It is quite enjoyable, but the thing is, it feels, sometimes it just pushes to the repetitive nature a little bit. It doesn't cross it though, but sometimes it just feels like it gets there. Because the more you play this game, you realize, like, damn, like, I wish I wanna, I wanna add a different weapon or something. Because I remember in the original they added the hidden blade as part of your actual main weapon to fight with. They removed it here, and I still don't get why. Like, why would they remove a hidden blade? That you could have had the sword and the hidden blade. It should have been enough. But instead, it's only the swords, which is quite frustrating in my opinion. Since if only having the swords and with the limited animation, in my opinion, you'll feel it's kind of like, all right, I know what to do now, and now it's kind of, well, repetitive. But it feels satisfying enough to not cross the repetitive nature of the combat. So this is how it felt. At the end of the day, this is just one part of the game, because when you go through now, the main thing, the big section, is the sailing system, the naval combat. This is the whole fun of the game. Your ship, which is called the Jackdaw, it's just not a transportation tool or something. It's a whole system itself. It's the whole core loop of the game, in my opinion. The ship combat is just incredible. It feels so satisfying, and the upgrades that you give to the ship is just, man, it's just incredible. You truly feel a huge improvement with each upgrade. Exploring the ocean, the open world, is just so rewarding, and Ubisoft in this remake made it way easier, since it's all seamless open world. No longer any loading times like the original. It's just all seamless, satisfying, and since they added, the RPG objective thing from the RPG games like Shadows and Origin and Valhalla, it just truly, well, it is now modernized and enhances the experience more. It makes tracking the what is it, the objective from each city way more easier, and it's just fun to explore. And it tells you where each part of the island contains and what you need to collect. It's just way better than the original, in my opinion. Even though the original probably gives you the information, but at the same time, it's just not as clear as this one. That I know is for sure, absolutely. Like back to the combat in terms of the naval combat, the boarding ships is just satisfying. You keep hitting the ship after hit their health bar. You just can now board it and kill all the enemies in there and gain their loot. That system, that core loop, is just so addictive. That's the best way I can say. It is addictive, absolutely. I just never throughout the game. Like sometimes just like I get lost, man. Like I want to focus on the main mission, but I just want to board that shit because of the upgrades from what I can get from it. That whole core loop itself is just incredible. And this is the main thing. It knows that it's a pirate game. There are of course the Assassin's Creed, like the assassin part of it with the stealth and the combat itself. That is decent enough because in the stealth section or the stealth part of the game, it is decent, serviceable, I would say. But the thing is, before in the original, they did not there was no actually crouch button. Yes, you actually had to hide through the grass to just crouch before, which is super weird, super annoying. Basically, even when you get out of the grass, you basically stand up. So it was just absolutely weird and annoying. Here, they added a full-on crouch button, and it feels good. It feels basically right at home. Like it just makes way more sense. Makes the stealth a whole lot easier. And it is like nothing special, nothing new they added. You get the whistle through the coin. I don't know about the throwing the coin. I don't remember that. But smog bombs. You also get the rope dart. That absolutely helps. And you get the double assassination, of course, and the eagle vision and all that. It's just the simple AC old school stuff, but did not reinvent or anything. At the end of the day, it is a remake. So that is it. That's what comes to the gameplay. The combat and the stealth is just fun overall, but nothing too special, nothing we're not reinventing anything here. It's just serviceable enough, fun enough. But the main thing, it is a pirate game. It's all about the sailing, the naval combat, the exploring the ocean, boarding ships, getting the rewards, upgrading your ship. That's the whole core loop. And I want to go more in depth in terms of the world. Look, the world is just, like I said, beautiful. You got islands, you got cities, you got caves to explore for treasure. You get to hunt animals to get crafting upgrades. For example, you can craft health by hunting certain animals. Although you actually in this game, you actually do like fight animals. I said they were actually normal human enemies. I don't think that was in the original. I don't remember that. It wasn't laid out. So if you don't like that or feels out of place, it kind of does feel out of place. But I didn't mind it at all. I thought it was alright. It's fine and no big deal. You got the underwater exploration. Yes, you got a whole section to actually go in underwater and explore to get the treasures and like avoid sharks and all that. It's just super cool. With of course many more side activities. You get side missions. You got assassin contracts, which is basically enemy contracts you gotta kill or assassinate. Just many more. I don't want to like spoil. They understood what an open world is, man, and we lost that today. We truly do, man. Like with Shadows and all these Valhalla, like I'm sorry, it's just not good enough. They always checklist and so bloated, and it's just not fun at all in my opinion. This is a true pirate adventure through and through, and that is why it's just one of the best worlds out there that you just gotta experience. And the remake absolutely respected that. Now, I want to go through the story and Edward Kenway as a character. Look, Edward, like I said before, is not what I expected. He has his own motivations. He wants this pirate's lifestyle so bad. You just gotta see the conflict between the assassin and Templar, including that, with the supporting characters, and his whole overall character development is just so, in my opinion, it's not just unique, it's just so, I don't know, it's something you have to experience. It's just so beautiful. His character is the true meaning of character development, in my opinion. I don't want to go spoilery or anything. Edward Kenway's story is just, he is definitely one of the best protagonists or best assassins out there. Like at first I really never understood why, even when I played it before, but I told you guys like I was young, so I didn't understand it that much. But now when I look through it, no, he is one of the best assassins, and you definitely need to see that, or you have to see why. Like he is such a cool character with his charisma, his charm, his dedication to the lifestyle. You have got to explore it no matter what. And they added new side quest, and well, it is alright. It's fine. It's just I don't know, it's just nothing too crazy. It is a fine addition, and I mean, at the end of the day, it is additional and it's acceptable. They do give you rewards in the naval combat. For example, there's one in an early game where you basically get a special. You hold L1 R1, you get a special ram boost, gives you crazy damage, and you get that by getting through. Was it? It's called the officer side mission. That was the Padres side mission. Like, it is absolutely serviceable. You get the story moment from the officers, and at the end of the side mission, you recruit them, and you get the reward. It is okay. It has some few problems, like the writing's kind of feels off. You know, the modern use of writing is kind of weird. Like, definitely not compared to the actual main mission, since it is based on the original. You can definitely feel the difference. There will be some stuff, political stuff, you know, from the woke stuff, whatever that word means anyways. Yeah, you will find that all that in there. But at the end of the day, I didn't mind it. It's fine. It's all right. It is worth to do it, though. You do need those special abilities. Yeah, it's called the special abilities or whatever. You do need them. So it is worth going through them. And yeah, that's it for in terms of the story. There are, of course, some problems. Again, the main thing what I found is definitely in terms, other than the story-wise, and the side mission, it is the combat. It just feels sometimes limited or nothing too special, and it will get a little bit repetitive. Some people will tolerate it, some people will not. But I do feel like I never crossed the repetitive side of things. I really do not feel that. If sometimes it just gets by enough, satisfying enough, that's my whole thing. I truly believe they should have added more like weapons, more variety. They just needed a little bit more. If they could fix that next time or throw an update, that would be incredible. But other than that, truly, this is just an incredible game. I don't have that much anything else to say. Like, the more I say about it, the more I go into spoiler territory. So I don't want that. You guys have to experience that game. It is one of the, I did not expect this remake to be one of my, so far, it is my top 5 game of the year. It has a strong identity, amazing protagonist, great atmosphere, a world really truly worth exploring. You got activities that fit the pirate life for sure. When you play this game and when you finish it, you realize the answer isn't like make another Black Flag for the franchise in terms of its future. No, you need to understand why Black Flag worked in the first place. And Assassin's Creed doesn't need to go backwards. No, they just need to take those ideas from those games, the OG games like the Ezio and the Black Flag, and they just need to put it forward. Alright? The answer is not the RPG. I tell you guys, the RPG is not the answer. And this is why it became successful. I think right now it's sold about 3 million to 4 million units. And I think even Ubisoft is shocked. And I'm not shocked. Like, this game is just incredible. And the fact that they respected the material, that was the key to its success. And if I'm gonna give this game a final verdict, I would give it a must play. This game is absolutely a must play. I really hope Assassin's Creed just gets back on track. It does give me a huge hope for the franchise. Absolutely. It doesn't need to be, this game doesn't need to be basically a whole feature of the Assassin's Creed franchise. It could be that in terms of the remakes, but I just want Ubisoft to remind themselves what the future could look like with their franchises. So yeah, must play. I just want to say one more thing. I played Black Flag Resynced expecting a remake of a beloved classic, but I came away thinking it might be the best reminder yet of what Assassin's Creed needs to become again. I'll see you guys on the next one. Lost Prince out.